A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a move that has sparked outrage among taxpayers and residents alike, former President Donald Trump is set to embark on a 4-day trip to Scotland, with projected costs to American taxpayers reaching at least $10 million. This hefty sum is drawn from previous data regarding presidential travel expenses, and some estimates suggest the total could rise to $12.8 million when adjusted for inflation. Trump's journey to Aberdeen is primarily aimed at promoting his golf resort, a venture that has raised eyebrows given his history of criticizing former President Barack Obama for his golfing habits. In fact, Trump has spent approximately 23% of his presidency on the golf course, with 43 days dedicated to golf outings during his current term. Critics, including Jordan Libowitz from the watchdog group Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, argue that the Oval Office has become an extension of the Trump Organization, with taxpayers shouldering the financial burden. As Trump prepares for his trip, Scottish officials anticipate significant protests from various groups, including climate action campaigners and trade unionists. These demonstrators, many of whom are part of the Stop Trump coalition, are vocal against Trump's policies, which they claim undermine reproductive rights and promote racism and nationalism. The sentiment against Trump is palpable, as reflected in the front page of the national newspaper, which labeled him a convicted U.S. felon in relation to recent legal troubles involving sexual abuse and defamation. Upon his arrival in Scotland, Trump is expected to engage in both personal leisure and diplomatic discussions, including meetings with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. However, the backdrop of his visit is marred by ongoing controversies surrounding his past associations, particularly with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Trump has attempted to distance himself from Epstein's legacy, but pressure mounts from his supporters for more transparency regarding the financier's crimes. Trump's discussions with Starmer are anticipated to focus on refining a trade agreement that has benefited both nations. However, Trump has downplayed expectations for significant changes. As he prepares to meet with von der Leyen ahead of looming tariff deadlines, the president remains optimistic about potential agreements, though he acknowledges the numerous sticking points that need resolution. The protests planned during Trump's visit echo the widespread discontent felt by many in Scotland, particularly given the tumultuous history of his golf courses in the region. Trump's previous visit in 2018 was marked by extensive demonstrations, and this trip is expected to be no different. As he travels to his golf courses, local residents are prepared to voice their disapproval, holding signs and rallying against his presence. Trump's dual role as a politician and a businessman has drawn scrutiny, with critics arguing that his administration's actions often blur the lines between governance and personal profit. The White House has brushed aside concerns about conflicts of interest, asserting that Trump's business acumen was a key factor in his election appeal. However, the intertwining of his presidential duties with the promotion of his golf courses raises ethical questions that remain unresolved. Trump's existing golf course in Aberdeenshire has faced its share of challenges, struggling to turn a profit and embroiled in legal disputes over environmental issues and construction plans. The complexities of his business dealings, including lucrative foreign agreements, further complicate the narrative surrounding his presidency. As Trump navigates the political and social landscape of Scotland, the implications of his visit will undoubtedly reverberate far beyond the golf course. The intersection of his personal ambitions and public responsibilities continues to fuel debate, leaving many to question the true cost of his presidency and the impact it has on taxpayers and international relations alike. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.